Good morning, yogis. Happy Saturday. Welcome in. We'll get started in just a moment, giving folks just a moment to sign in. If you're just getting set up, we'll use props today to pillows towards the second half of class. We're doing a yin practice, and the yin practice I teach begins with three yang sequences, each done 3 times. As we go through these sequences, there's a lot of freedom for movement, and the focus is less on alignment, more on energy flow within the body. So I encourage you to kind of listen to where the energy is flowing and then steer into that as needed. And then notice where it's not, and then maybe breathe into those places where you feel restricted energy or stagnant energy. And then, as I said, the focus on alignment is less there until we get to the third sequence. The third sequence, I'll offer 2 variations. One variation is a hands-free variation, because I have some yogis joining me today who do a modified practice. But then there's another variation that looks more like yoga that you know. It has a down dog, it has lunges and things like that. And so there's alignment principles you can apply to that based on what you know in your body and in yoga. But let's begin seated. Find a comfortable seat, yogis. You might use one of your blocks or pillows to sit on to give yourself some height. Sit with a long spine. Take a moment to connect to your breath. Begin to feel a stronger inhale and exhale, more undulating energy through your breath rhythm, and allowing for that energy to spread throughout the body. The breath might begin small, but it begins to increase in size as you bring your focus to your breath. Bring hands together at the center of your chest. Begin to rub your palms vigorously. Create some heat through friction. Then place your hands over your eyes. If your eyes were closed, blinking them open slowly, taking in the light through the cracks of your hands and releasing your hands slowly. Let's come onto our back. Setting aside your prop for a moment. On the back, your feet are on the floor with knees up toward the sky. And reconnect to your breath. We have 3 prime energy centers in the body: the pelvis, the ribs, and your head. Allow those 3 spaces to become heavy and connected to the earth. You may place your hands on the low energy center, just below your belly button. In yoga, we think about this as Swadhisthana. In Chinese philosophy, it's your low dantian. And imagine your breath traveling into the low torso, filling up the dantian, or the low chakras, with energy. On your next exhale, lift your feet off the floor. Curl your upper shoulders toward your knees. So you've made a little round shape through the body. Inhale, extend from fingers to toes. Exhale, hug it in. Moving from the navel. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug. Feel an energetic stretch through the body. And hug. One more. And hug. Lower your head, neck, and shoulders, arms out to a T. Your knees are at 90 degrees, so are the shins. Upper body stays stable, squeeze the inner thighs together. Inhale, move the knees to the right. Exhale, knees back to vertical. Inhale, move the knees to the left. Exhale, knees to vertical. Shoulders are very stable. Getting some rotation through the low back, very gently at the start of class. Right inhale, exhale neutral. Left inhale, exhale neutral. Do one more each side. Lower your feet, extend your legs, and extend your arms above head. You may need your feet for this transition. Move your hips over to the right, then re-extend the legs straight down toward the center of the mat. Now the right hip wants to lift off. Try to press that hip down, and then you can move your upper body to the left. So you've created this banana-like shape to the body on the floor. Your hips are over to the right, but your feet and arms are slightly over to the left, and you're anchoring down through the right hip and right rib cage. Breath in. And breath out. You can keep your legs long if you're able to transition that way, or bend your knees to move your hips back to center. Then move the hips to the left. Extend your legs down toward the end of your mat. Arms above head. With your left hip anchored, move your torso to the right. So you're creating a lateral stretch through the spine. You might feel a more intense stretch on the left side. Continue to anchor your hip and rib. Now yogis, we're transitioning to standing. So you can curl onto your right side, or you can roll forward and back, creating momentum. Bring yourself up to standing, however is easiest for you. If you're using your mat, which actually is optional for the first two flows, we're going to use the long edge of the mat. So take a wide stance, a little softness to the joints of the lower unit. Hips, knees, and ankles are soft, so you can ground through the pelvis, through the Dantian space. Bring your hands together in front of your pelvis, fingertips lightly touching. Then press the fingertips toward the center, so you have center line, inward pressing energy, and feel how your whole body gets big when you create this closed kinetic chain. As you breathe, you can feel a circular connection of energy through the arms and through your back. You might even feel it through your legs. Keep that sense of circular energy. As we begin to become aware of the energy around us, squeeze and stretch your hands, tight fists and stretched fingers. In our new digital interface, there's a lot of typing, so you might have tightness in the hands. Start to take your hands out to the side, getting a little expansive through the body. But we're waking up the palm chakra. This is an important chakra we'll use through these flows as we push and pull the energy of the space around us. So now I'll ask you to use your imagination in our flows. You can feel the material of your body, right? You can touch your skin and feel material resistance. But in the air, we can't necessarily feel air molecules with our hands. But you can if you use your imagination and imagine thick air. In dance, we sometimes say you're moving through peanut butter. So you have this imaginary isometric resistance through the space around you that's really perceived through the palms, and the palms become this connection to your energy center, the low dantian. Here we go. First sequence, the golden seed. I'll go fairly slowly through the first time cueing, and then the second two will flow a little more vigorously. Take a moment to connect your palms and feel your energy center. We'll always begin by observing our energetic sphere. Then gather the energy of the space around you as your arms sweep up. Pivot your toes out, heels in as you press. Your legs are rotated here, then dive forward. Rotate your toes forward again, legs to parallel. Turn your right toe out. Left hand opens, spine rotates, hips can shift, and close. Second side. Left toes out, open right arm. Close. Gather energy from the earth, palms up, pulling that energy into the pelvis, then invert the palms, press up to the sky. Dive forward, reach your head forward in space as the arms swing back. Drop your hips, horse. Your hips are low as the torso and spine extend. Exhale, dive again. Palms down this time, energy from the earth. Gather as you unfurl the spine, pulling energy into the body from tail to crown. Then press that energy back down to your dantian. You may close your eyes to observe your energetic sphere. The breath is an excellent connection to the quality and flow of energy in your body. Round two. Sweep arms up, gather. Press. Fold. Legs rotate forward. Rotate your right foot out. Rotate your left spine to the left. So your left arm lifts. Close. Rotate left foot out. Right hand lifts. Close. Palms up, gather. Invert the palms, press. Dive. Sit the hips low. Dive forward, drinking bird. Palms down as you gather energy from earth, pulling it into the body. From root to crown, then exhale, gather into the center of the body. Remember the pliable energy in the joints of the lower legs. So there's softness in your knees, they're not locked. Third round, gather. Press. Fold. Right foot out. Rotate spine left. Close. Left toes out. Rotate spine right. Close. Gather. Invert palms and press. dive. Hips low. Dive again. Palms down, gather. And press. Toe heel your feet together. Unite your fingers and feel that closed kinetic chain, a circuit of energy from your spine wrapping around to your fingertips. You may close your eyes to observe your energetic state. Round 2, warrior advances and retreats. We'll use the mat the long way now. Again, thinking about the energy between your hands, and you may imagine a ball of energy that you're moving, and you push, pull energy through the palms. So we stand on the left leg, our right leg lifts. You take that ball of energy above head, then gather it into the center of the body and press to the back wall. We do it again, gather and press now to the front wall. Again to the back wall, gather and press, pivoting on the balls of your feet to adjust the legs. Sweep around towards your left, low retreat. Sweep around once again, right to left, high retreat. Step to the back of your mat, onto the right foot. You can lift the left leg or not, then regather the energetic sphere back to the center of your pelvis, the dantian. Second side, we begin standing on the right foot, the left leg lifts. Step your left foot back, gather, and press. Gather, and press. Gather, and press. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the front of the mat, left leg. Hands to the dantian. Round 2, yogis. Right leg lifts. Move the ball of energy into the center of the body. Gather and press. Gather. Press. Gather. Press. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the back of the mat, 1 or 2 legs. Reorganize. Bringing the energy back into that settled place in the low pelvis. Left leg. Gather, press. Gather, press. Gather, press. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the front. Hands to the dantian. One observation I'd like to share. As I'm pivoting on my feet, there's a lot of mobility and freedom in the lower unit joints. So the toes, ankles, knees, and hips are soft and pliable to enable integrated energy through the body. And as I'm doing that, my feet are becoming more grounded and connected to the energy of the earth. So while the palms of my hands are connecting to the energy of the space around us, this imaginary energy, Your feet have a closed chain. They're connected to earth and can feel real resistance, push-pull with the earth. So I encourage you on this last time through to consider not only how your hands connect to the space, but also the energy center in the soles of the feet. Right leg. Gather and press. Gather and press. Gather and press. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the back of your mat. And recover. Second side, left. Gather, press. Gather, press. Gather, press. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the front of your mat. Reorganize your energy. Hands in front of the dantian. You may have a small space between your fingers, or you may begin with the fingers touching as we've done. Imagining the ball of energy between your hands that reflects the energy inside the body. If your hands are separated, imagine a filament of energy connecting your fingertips, as if you had a closed kinetic chain. Perhaps you're becoming aware in that small space between your fingertips of the invisible energy that exists in the air molecules around us. Invisible to the eye, but there. Round 3. I'll show the variation first. You can join me for the variation. It's a nice warm-up for the third full sequence. So the variation begins with the right leg lifting, just as we did before, flying dragon. Then you step your right foot back, hinging forward. You bring your body up once, and you hinge forward again. Sweep your body all the way around to the back of the mat, and hinge forward again. Body up, body down. From there, lower the back knee. You can untuck the toe if you choose. I like to make fists with my hands and unfurl the body, and then squeeze the shoulders together as I stick my tongue out. The palms are opening, my shoulders opening, my face is opening. As I exhale, dragon's breath. And then you stand up, and you have many choices about how to stand up. You can shift your weight to that front foot and just stand. Woo! Or you can bring your hands to the floor, 2 feet together and then stand. You can bring your hands to the knee, always leading forward with your head, the head guiding you up to a standing position. Let's do it on the second side, the modification. Left leg lifts. Step back to a lunge, leaning forward. Bring your spine up, stacking your head above tail. You can use your arms or not, hinge forward. For stability, hands on your hips as you fly around to the other side, leaning forward. Inhale, head above tail. Exhale, lean forward. Lower your back knee down. Bring your body up for the dragon's breath. I forgot a step on the first side. You come up to standing, however you choose to come up, and you lift the right leg again. This is the step I forgot on the first side. Place one hand on the knee and do a twist. Standing balance twist. So the body is closed, you're rotating toward the lifted leg, and then you come back to center and you're done. Let's do that one more time. because I failed to do the twist on the first side. Right hand lift. Right leg lift. Exhale, lunge. Body up. Body down. All the way around. Lean forward. Body up. Body down. Knee down. Unfurl your spine. Dragon's breath. Stand up. Right hand to knee. Rotate your body. And return. Hands to earth, or hands to the hips. Second side. This is the modification. Left leg. Lunge. Body up. Body down. All the way around. Body down in the lunge. Body up, strong feet. Body down, knee down. Unfurl your spine. Dragon's breath. Stand up. Left hand to knee. Twist. Recover. Replace the foot. And regather energy. So you're welcome to do that, cycle 1 or 2, maybe even 3 more times. I'll lead you through Flying Dragon. Begins the same way. Take it into a low lunge, and you can float on one leg, landing hands and feet at the same time. Twist to the right. Lower. That was a twist to the left, sorry. Left leg lifts. Step it forward. Fly around the world. Land on the second side in your low lunge. Now twist right. Always twisting toward the front leg and lower. Right leg extends. Step it through and under. Rotate your belly button up to the sky. And then come back down, belly button to the floor. Three-legged dog again. And step your right foot through. Dragon's breath. Stand up. You can stand to 2 feet or to 1 and regather energy. Second side, left leg lifts. Dragon lunge. Twist right. Close. Right foot back, stretch into a dragon's tail. Bring your right foot forward. Fly around the world. Landing in a low lunge, second side. Twist left. Close. Stretch your left foot like a dragon's tail back. And bring it in, under, belly button to sky. Close. Left dragon tail again. Bring the foot through, dragon's breath. Back knee down, inhale. Cleansing exhale. Stand up. Recover. Take a breath, organizing your energy or observing your energy. Another round, right leg. Lunge. Stretch left dragon wing. Close. Left dragon tail. Step forward. Fly around the world. Dragon lunge. Right dragon wing. close. Right dragon tail. Bring it under and across. Belly of the beast, belly to sky. Close. Right dragon tail. Step it through, dragon's breath. Knee up or down. Stand up. Stand 2 feet. Second side. Lunge. Right dragon's wing. Close. Right dragon tail. Step forward. Fly. Lunge. Left dragon wing. Close. Left dragon tail. Under and across. Belly of the beast. Close. Left dragon tail. Step forward, dragon's breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. Stand. And recover. We have one more sequence. The pinnacle of our mountain. Choose the variation or the full flying dragon. Right leg. Low lunge. Left dragon wing. Close. Left dragon tail. Step forward. Fly around the world. Low lunge. Right dragon wing. Close. Right dragon tail. Under and across. Belly of the beast. Close. Right dragon tail. Forward. Dragon's breath. Stand. Second side. Left leg. Dragon lunge. Right dragon wing. Close. Right dragon tail. Step forward. Fly around the world. Dragon lunge. Left dragon wing. Close. Left dragon tail. Under and across. Belly of the beast. Close. Left dragon tail. Step forward. Last dragon's breath. Biggest inhale. Fullest exhale. Stand. Feet to the floor, hands to the low dantian. A sliver of space or a filament of energy between each finger. You may close your eyes to tune into your energetic sphere, the flow of energy in your body. Notice if any of your joints are locked or rigid and allow them to soften. Sometimes the knees or hips carry the effort of the work we just did. Let them soften. So you can feel through the joints energy flow. All right, yogis. Find your props and let's have a seat. 1 or 2 pillows. And if you need to run grab a pillow from your bed, that'd be perfect. And I think 2 pillows. More props are better than less. The music's giving us a lot of energy, so let's change tone just a little bit. With your props handy, we'll begin with the soles of the feet in front. Legs folded out to the side. Sometimes I recommend 3 pillows. 1 for each knee, which I might use a block, and then the pillows for your forehead and chest. As you set up into these yin postures, we're moving out of the yang sequences, the vigorous energy flow, and we're moving into a more stable physical posture that will sustain for a few minutes. It might take a minute or so of wiggling to find that position that you can sustain for 10 to 20 breaths. When you find that position, wherever it is, resolve to stay. The body may want to fidget. The mind may want to wander. Use the breath as a point of focus to steady the mind. When you begin thinking about many things, bring your attention back to the breath. When you notice the urge to move in the body, to fidget, to adjust, to wiggle, observe the source of that need. Is it a physical sensation that's calling your attention? Dull physical sensations are fairly common in yin poses. Dull aching is often muscles that are reluctant to move, or even tendons that connect bones and muscles, or ligaments bone to bone. Sharp sensations, if you observe anything sharp, then I encourage backing off slowly. That's an opportunity where you can adjust. But generally the dull sensations are okay. Sometimes that physical need to move isn't from a physical source, but a sense of mental or emotional tension that you may be carrying in the body. So I notice in myself there's habitual adjustments I make with my shoulders when my neck and shoulders are tight. Notice those habitual physical responses that feel like a need. Maybe exhale, seeing if just for a moment you can let go of that need. One adjustment I may recommend is if you're looking to one side, you could look to the other side. We'll have a few more breaths here. As we remain in the posture, different sensations may arise. Different physical sensations, different thoughts. You may even notice spiritual or emotional shifts Sometimes we get into deep physical places that release an emotional tension. Sometimes we find a sense of peace or resolve by committing to physical and mental stillness. And if you notice that spiritual state changing, you just observe it, notice it casually, and then come back to the breath. The act of noticing is a delicate thing. It's not an effortful task, noticing. The favorite description I like to share of noticing is like a feather dusting a crystal glass. Very light in mental effort, the act of noticing. Remain in that state of noticing as you prepare and begin to come out of this pose. As my good friend and favorite teacher, Indira, says, you may feel like you've aged many years while you're in the pose. I encourage you to move in any way that feels good in response to the pose we were just in. Listening to your body will communicate to you what improvisational movement is best for you, and maybe stillness is best. You're welcome to wiggle a bit more as we set up our next shape. Bend your right knee in front and bend your left knee behind. So both feet are pointed in the same direction, both knees are pointed in the other direction. Bring your props over to the right side toward the knee that's more in front of the body. And I'm going to need many props today. My back feels a little tight. Rotate your torso toward the front thigh. And then recline your torso. So you're laying onto your props. You have a deep crease in this bottom hip. The torso is creasing over the hip, compressing that joint. You're softening both shoulders to the floor. Your gaze looking toward the knees. For me, that's toward the left. That's a little more accessible. If you flip your gaze over to the right, that increases your twist, and it may be a little more intense, or you may be ready for it after 5 to 10 breaths. Once you find your pose, your shape, resolve to stay. What I notice in my own yin practice is the tendency for the mind to wander, to think, to task, to do, to worry, to remember, to do anything but be still. The breath, as I most commonly cue, is an excellent point of focus, and I cue it because for me it's an excellent way to quiet the mind. But then my mind doesn't sustain its attention on the breath, it starts to wander. What can help me in my practice stay connected to the breath is noticing something about the breath that engages your curiosity or engages your mental energy that can keep you in a single point of focus on the breath. Csikszentmihalyi would call it in the flow state, the psychological state of flow where you're just focused on one thing and nothing can distract you. We all find that in different ways, sometimes at work, sometimes at home doing our hobbies or cleaning or running or some other places, we find that state of mental flow. Single point of focus, time passes swiftly, you don't notice the passage of time, and you're almost unable to be interrupted. The breath can be that. It just takes some practice. On your next inhale, bring your torso up. Let's transition to our second side and take your time in this transition. Any movement is available to you. The move I always informally call mermaid on a beach. I give credit to a dance instructor from Chicago, Christina Flutie, who used to call this mermaid on the beach. Then bring your body up and finish, or you can keep working on improvisational movement as you set up the second side. Other knee is bent in front, other knee is folded underneath behind. So for me, that's left in front, right behind. Move the props over as needed. Rotate your torso toward the props, so shoulders are squaring toward the floor. Looking toward the front knee is a little more accessible. Looking to your left or away from the knees is a little more intense. Then what about the breath becomes interesting or engaging for you that can keep you steadfast? Could be the rhythm of your breath, the sensation of undulating, and the slight change of energy that happens on the inhale, at the top of the inhale, through the exhale, at the bottom of the exhale. You could get invested in that rhythm and feel how your breath rhythm connects to some rhythm in nature or in your space. You might be reflecting the state of circulation or your heartbeat. The breath rhythm might reflect anxiety or a mental state. You may become engrossed in the anatomical experience of breathing, expanding and contracting through the torso. Maybe take a different and creative approach. You consider the color of your breath or the color of your energetic state at this moment. And as you breathe, you're visualizing this color, and the color isn't uniform throughout. There's shades and gradations in color that reflects the changes and different states of energy that exist in our body or in our mind or in our energetic spiritual sphere. Find a place where your mind can dwell for a few more moments quietly. And luxuriate in the time it takes to come out, moving slowly, glacially if you will, as I look at the snow slowly melting outside my window. And if you would like Mermaid on the Beach again, or any other improvisational movement, you're welcome to do. The snow this morning and this week in Michigan is what prompted my lumberjack leggings. I thought they could come out one last time, hopefully before we find spring next week. Our last shape today will be an extension for the spine. So there's a few ways you can do a spinal extension. You can take your pillow, if you have it, and fold it in half, so it's long like this. A blanket rolled up might also work. And this is where you're going to lay your spine. You can begin with your hips on the floor, the rolled up pillow or blanket right at the base of your spine, and then you recline. Now your feet can be long, relaxed in front. You can bring the soles of your feet together for a butterfly shape with the legs as you recline. If you happen to have yoga blocks in your space, you could have a more intense variation, or you could put another pillow to give you more height. One block for your rib cage, the middle dantian, and one block for the head, the upper dantian. Your lower dantian, the pelvis, our primary energy source, the engine, is on the floor, connected to earth. Your other energetic spaces, heart space, third eye space, to use more yoga philosophy, are opening toward the front, where they are often closed and tight. Once you find your position, resolve to stay. Noticing the urge to fidget in your body. One adjustment you can make is for the arms. If you're finding this is very intense, having your arms out to the side, you can move your hands down toward the hips, or vice versa. If your hands are down by the hips and you would like a little more intense opening through the chest, you can take your arms out to a T, or even up to a Y shape. Now I notice in my own practice, the Y shape sometimes makes my arm numb, so I just take the T shape. And the numbness I just described is just tightness in my shoulder that restricts the energy flow. It's tight on a nerve that creates numbness. Here in your yin poses, you're not necessarily seeking the most intense variation at the start of the pose. You're doing very little physical effort within the shapes. Gravity is doing the work for you. And as you remain in the shape, the effect of gravity becomes more intense. So your commitment to stay there will shift as gravity starts to, I like the word, sediment the body, to press you towards the earth. I sometimes find, and I tend to find the people who attend my class and tend to do yoga, and that's not everyone, but they're doers. And you might find that you're a doer. Fix things, solve problems, accomplish tasks, get things done. Those are great qualities. But in a yin practice, we want to move away from being the doer and to use a word from the Alexander technique from one of another favorite instructors. I've referenced a lot of instructors today. Rochelle Sahor. She says allow. Just allow. Allow the body to be still. Allow the mind to be still. and allow your spirit to be alive. I invite you to stay in this pose for just a little bit longer. We're nearing the end of our time together. One thought to consider on the idea of allowing. As we look forward to our future, there's just so much uncertainty. And for me, that's what creates the state of anxiety. First in my mind, but then it reflects in physical tension as a result of mental anxiety or even spiritual uncertainty. But we can allow. We can allow for the future to unfold as it will. We can do our part as you are, practicing at home. And we can meet the challenges that will face us in the future, most certainly, with grace. And we can do that most easily by allowing. So as you go through your weekend, allow for your weekend to happen, allow for joy to come in, allow for connection to others when you can. Notice when negativity and anxiety arise. They will, they do. And then you allow them to come and go. You don't necessarily fight against it, you notice that state, and then you allow for it to pass. Thanks for joining, yogis. If you're in a seated position, you can bring your hands to the heart center. If you're remaining in meditation, enjoy ongoing breaths in meditation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. If you have questions, send me a DM, send me an email. We'll see you soon. Tomorrow is Power of Vinyasa, so we'll really move tomorrow. Have a great day.